Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Zaina, aka Gains with Z. Today I'm going to be doing a full recap of the last 3 months. In the last 3 months I was in a bulking phase, goodness gracious. So I'm going to talk about what bulking is, how I did my bulk. I'm going to do some measurements and then also give you guys some goals for my cut as I'm jumping into that phase this upcoming week. First things first, so I want to talk about what bulking is. I have a little cheat sheet on my phone, so I'm gonna kind of be looking back and forth at this. So bulking is basically a phase that you go through in your fitness journey where you're going to be eating in a caloric surplus, which means eating more calories than what you would be the caloric energy that you're expending. And you're doing this with the purpose of building muscle mass and strength. So there's three different types of phases that you can bulk in and complete a bulk. There is a clean bulk, a dirty bulk, and a lean bulk. So a clean bulk is where you focus on eating nutrient-dense foods, is with a controlled caloric surplus. So you're wanting to gain muscle but minimize fat. And then a dirty bulk is eating in a large caloric surplus that doesn't focus on the food quality and it just tends to increase fat. You also are going to be building muscle mass in that, but you're more so putting on fat than you are putting on anything else. Because you can just be like eating out every single day, you can be eating Chipotle every single day, and you're just trying to eat more than what you would be expending in your workouts and what your daily activities increase your caloric expenditure. And then lastly, you have the lean bulk, which a lean bulk is a moderate increase in caloric surplus that's focusing on high protein foods and whole foods. And you're primarily just maximizing your muscle mass. You're trying to maximize gaining of muscle mass and a minimal fat, kind of just like a clean bulk. So for this time around, I really wanted to focus my bulk on a lean bulk. So I changed my diet into a high protein diet, making sure I was meal prepping high protein foods to maximize my muscle mass gains and not put on as much fat. So my two main focuses in this bulk were like at least workout wise and like training wise was to one increase my lower legs, grow my not my lower legs but my legs in general. So I did want to increase my hamstrings and my quads, but I really primarily focused on my glutes. And then I did want to tone up and build up my upper body as well. So I really focused on my back. I kind of just chose like my back and my shoulders probably are my most like muscles on my upper body that I'm like confident in. So I wanted to kind of build those up so that when I cut down and I tone down, they are very defined, they're very toned, they're very standoutish. So now going back into the food of what I ate. So I am a type of person that I cannot eat the same thing over and over again, like day in, day out. I cannot eat the chicken, corn, and rice. I cannot eat chicken and rice. Just I have to figure out different ways to meal prep that include high protein. So I really went into the stores. I like grocery shops almost like everywhere that I could. Like we have Sam's Club. We have something called Redner's where I live. We also have Food Lion. So I was like daily in those stores, like what high protein foods do you have? So I found high protein pasta. I found Onkos, like the high protein um, Greek yogurt. I finally have figured out like a granola that was high protein because I hate Greek yogurt, but hey, 15 grams of protein, you can't miss it. I also did even then start trying to find places like fast food restaurants or just eating out general that had clean, high protein like meals at least. So I'm not saying that in this book, like I just strictly was just a high protein, only ate at home, only cooked my foods. I would go out and eat. I had Wingstop once. I actually calculated it. I had Wingstop once, and that's saying a lot because prior to me trying to like really settle down and tone in and zone in on my bulk, I was eating like Wingstop like once every week. Um, but yeah, so I found like this poke bowl where I live, or poke bowl place where I live called Poke Bros. They're absolutely amazing. They have this bowl in there that has like tuna, shrimp, salmon, and it's just like filled with protein. So I ate that a couple times. I did try to minimize my eating out for financial reasons because I was eating out a lot and I'm a single woman and I was eating out for like a family a month. Um, but I did try to tone back on that so that for helped me really find meals that I focus into. to zone into. So some of the meals, I will insert like pictures of meals that I've tried for over the last like 6 weeks. I would say is when I really zoned into like my eating part of my bulk. So I've been technically bulking since November. I was just like trying to eat as much as I can, so, but I didn't really care what I was putting in my body. So I was kind of starting out like that dirty bulk, just like eating high calories, just getting as many calories as I could into my body. And then around like December and start of the new year, I really wanted to focus in on toning down and just like focusing on diet, high protein. So I did make a switch to where I was only eating. I think I ate steak on like New Year's Day. So like one excuse, and I probably had steak in there a couple times. Actually, that's a lot. I had steak like 3 times this year already. Um, but high protein. But I did primarily focus on eating salmon, chicken, and ground turkey. Ground turkey is my favorite because you can do everything with ground turkey. I've done like ground turkey like bowls with like spinach, rice, and like um, cucumbers. I've also done a salmon bowl that way. I recently this week found Goodles. Need a sponsorship by them like now, but found them and I did like a healthy hamburger helper. So it was like 14 grams of protein per the box, and I split that into two, so 7 grams per serving, and then the serving for ground turkey is like 22 grams. So I'm not someone who calculates my calories. I more so just look at how I'm getting the calories and like how much protein's in like the full box, and I just get the whole box or the whole bag or whatever the case is. I don't measure out and I don't count my calories. In regards to my eating, I did stop consuming alcohol. I probably consumed alcohol twice this year, 3 times this year actually, 3 times this year. One for Super Bowl weekend, you kind of have to drink on that day. I did not get peer pressured, but I knew. And then on 2 other occasions, I'm someone, this is not for everyone, but for me, I found that when I don't consume alcohol, I have so much more better with my gains. Like I have so much more progress. I feel well recovered for the most part. Even if I just drink on the weekends, it takes me out for a couple days now. I'm to that age where I'm just hungover, and if I don't get in the gym, then I'm gonna be mad that I drink. So modifying that for myself, I found that that to be beneficial for me. I also, for my mental health, have seen that like when I cut out alcohol, mentally I'm so much better and I'm clear. So that's just my personal take on it. Everyone's different, but that's something that I did and that I've helped seen that I thought had helped see a little increase in my muscle gains. In regards to training, so I was been getting into the gym about on a 4 to 5 day training split. My goal when I started this was to be in 6 days a week, but with work and stuff like that, I work in sports, so on Saturdays or game days, I'm mostly like have to be at the facility at 8 a.m. And unfortunately, I don't go to a 24-hour gym so anymore, and so that kind of really takes down some of that me being able to get in the 6 days a week. As I am coming to the end of the season and our traveling is a little bit less, I will be able to get back in there 6 days a week. So for my cut, that's one of my goals. But for the bulk, it was really about a 4 to 5 day split, really focusing on progressive overload. Um, so to keep track of my progressive overload, I made an Excel sheet. I made it week by week, and I alternated weeks. So I had even weeks and odd weeks. And so the even weeks they were the same workout, odd weeks different workouts. Just because I mentally get bored with going to the gym and doing the same workout day in and day out, but I am someone who like agrees like you should be doing the exact same workouts to really see progress. So I found that if I do them every other week and like train them off, I find that I have good progress there and it keeps me intrigued with the gym. So what I did was I went in and I put in the weights so I could calculate each weight for each set that I did and then go back and compare it to the previous week. Now, I didn't be so successful with this. So going into my cut, I want to be a lot more successful with this only because like there was some times where I would just forget to calculate, like to add it in. So then I was like kind of guessing. And then there was like 2 weeks where I was on my period between January and February in the same like week bulk. So then like I would drop weight significantly just because like I couldn't like I just felt weak and just like overall as women know like you're not the strongest when you're in during your menstrual cycle. So I want to get a little bit better at that and kind of really focus on making sure I'm pushing myself even when I'm having those lower weeks. I will be changing some things with my supplements as well going into my cut, which I'm gonna make another video about. But I would get into that then. And so yeah. So focusing on really much of progressive overload. Um, and then for the first 4 weeks of my bulk, I did not do any cardio. That's just because I feel that cardio, I'm going to do my cardio after working out. I'm not really training for endurance right now, so I would be doing cardio for fat loss. And since I'm in a bulk with a minimal fat gain, that I don't want to be burning off the fat that I do have at the moment. Um, so I did no cardio for a week. Then I did start kind of just trying to like meet friends and stuff like that. So I did start doing a hip hop step class. But that's once a week and it was for like 45 minutes. I burned like 300 calories in that every week. So that was pretty cool to introduce back into um, my regimen. And I was like I go every other week right now. So also like it's not an every week thing, an everyday thing. But last week I did do this hip hop step was actually canceled. So I did get on the treadmill and I went and did sprint intervals. So I've done that twice so far. I probably will do something this week, but I'm just kind of working my way back into that cardio because I don't want to just go like jump in cold turkey and be like, okay, your body, you have to sprint. So something also that I did during the book was like making sure I track my progress, which you should do at any phase in your workout during period. But I did track my progress weekly by taking videos and pictures. So I'll insert some pictures and videos here, I guess. I think I also did get a body scan done. So I used to work at gyms and I've been an exercise physiology major, so I normally used to having a little bit more stuff. But my current gym has a handheld body fat diet like measurer. I don't really like that one. It's not top of the line, doesn't really get everything. So I had that done I think in October, but I lost the measurements. It literally doesn't even give you a printout or an email. It's just like you have to remember what it says on the screen, and I definitely didn't. I think I was at like 22%. Um, and then I did an in-body scan, which is kind of one of the top of the line ways to measure your body fat in a body scan. And I did that last Tuesday. I'll insert it. Basically, you like stand on a thing and it just like reads you from the bottom up, from like the feet up. On that one, which I think is like super helpful. I wish I could have done it this week because this is week 6 and it's been the end of the week, but it's fine. I doubt like stuff is going to change that much. So as you can see, I had my current weight when I took this was 158.8 pounds. I had a 21% body fat percentage, which is average for a woman of my like height, weight, age. Um, I also had 71.2 pounds of skeleton muscle, which is amazing. It's above average. I never think I've ever been that high up. Even if when I go and find my old in-body scans, I don't think I've ever been that high. I think I've been at like 60 pounds maybe. So that's the most I've been. So which is I'm super happy for that. And then I was at 33.4 pounds for my body fat, which was about average. So the in-body scan also gave me a analysis like of my limbs. So I'm gonna insert that here as well. And so this was really cool. This is what you kind of look at if you have any muscular imbalances. So for me in this time, I'm only at like a 0.1 difference between both of my limbs on each side. My left leg from my right leg, right arm from left arm. So I was super proud about that. If I had some muscle imbalances, then I would kind of just change my workouts, making sure I'm doing more ipsilateral workouts more than compound movements, just to kind of create even musculature balance. But being off by a 0.1 difference isn't anything crazy to me. This is something that I was definitely like tracking my progress in a way of like having actual measurements and like looking at the science and not just being on a body scale, because I'm not someone who just like I get on a scale but I don't really like count it, because when you're changing through the gym, you're not going to see, and your goal is kind of muscular mass, you're not going to see a much of a weight change on the scale. So I try not to look at that. And I try not to like defeat myself, and it's honestly taken me a really long time to get to that point. So if you're at that point, like keep pushing through, you're going to do great. Just just try to keep your head up, find different ways to be able to measure your mass and stuff. So I'm going to be using that InBody scan for my next 6 weeks. So when I do my cut, I'm going to kind of compare it to those. And then also today I'm going to do my own measurements. I kind of got this idea from another creator and I was like, oh my gosh, that's super cool. She compared it to a year. So I'm going to compare it to obviously my cut, but I at least want to get like my documentation down now and like now, so then I have it to compare to when I come back. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to do it on camera just to kind of show you guys which ones I'm doing and why I'm doing them. Oh, I'll tell you why I'm doing them now. I'm really going to focus on my glutes because I've been trying to grow my glutes. English is hard. Grow my glutes. So I want to, during my cut, not lose a lot of my glutes. I want to just lose, like, tone up and continue to grow them. So hopefully like I can keep that going. And then I'm going to also measure my thighs. I want to make those more toned. So I feel like most of my fat is kind of on my legs. So if I can tone up my legs, decrease that. So I'm thinking of that. And as well as my torso. There's not a way to like really measure your back, or it's my chest. So I'm going to kind of measure like broad line. Because that's kind of where, when I'm going to do this, my lats are going to flare. So we'll see how big I am there, because I'm kind of going for that hourglass. You'll kind of see now that I'm kind of achieving that, at least in my mind I'm achieving it. But yeah, so kind of just measuring those 3 pinpoints so I can measure them again in the next 6 weeks. Okay, so that is pretty much all my cut. I'm super happy with my measurements. I cannot complain with those. Now it's just a challenge of keeping my glutes and keep growing them at least. It's time to get cut and now it's time to get shredded. Overall, really just trying to tone up. I want to see my muscles. I want to see my muscles. I don't have a goal body weight, like I said a little bit ago, that I'm not someone who steps on the scale every single morning and expects change. So I don't ever have like a target body weight that I want to get to. It's just kind of like what I look like on the outside and what my body fat percentage says. So ideally the body fat percentage I want to get to is 18%. Dropping any lower than 18% while I'm not a figure computer is just not ideal for me. It's gonna have more challenges with it. Ideally 20% is where I've been sitting at, so it would just be nice to kind of get to that 18%, see how I feel there, see how I look there, and then if I can maintain it. If I can't, I want to, the most I'll go is to that 21%, but at least for this next 6 weeks, trying to get down as much as possible. But pretty much for this cut, it's just going to be based on how I like look and how I feel. Like, that is really what I'm going for. But to do this, I'm going to adjust my diet. I am going to cut out as much carbs as I can. Now that I found this protein pasta, I don't know if I'll be able to cut them out, but that's all. I know I'm going to for sure cut out my like rice. So like rice substitutes such as like using like spinach. I will try to do as much as that, or like maybe like a half a cup rather than like I've been doing like a cup or 2 cups of rice in each meal. So I'm just kind of like playing around with that. I also will be still maintaining my high protein though. That won't change. What I am going to increase my cardio daily. If not, I'm not doing it daily, just depending on how my body feels. I want to at least get it in 4 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week. Maybe that 6 days is just truly that recovery day instead of like a recovery cardio day. It's really just mobility, stretching, yoga, some type of like something like that. And then still focusing on maintaining my building that hourglass physique, and is building my lats, building my hips, building my glutes, try to get that outlook. So this was just a recap of my bulking journey for the last like 3.5 months. Truly the last 6 weeks have been where I've seen significant change, and I've been very, very proud of myself day in and day out with what I've been doing. So this was also my goals for my cut. So I am going to probably make like a video next week of like go grocery shopping with me for my cut and like some of the supplements that I'm changing up to get me through these next 6 weeks. I'm super excited to be finally switching gears. Like I said, it's been a long 3 months, and for someone who's never truly bulked, because I've always wanted to be like this tiny thing, like I've always wanted to be toned, and I was just like not getting the results I wanted, and so I was just like, I need to make a switch. Like, what is a switch? And I kind of figured out like, hey, you haven't done a true bulk, like let's figure that out. So to making that switch, super happy that I made that switch, and just super excited to see where it goes from here. I would love to hear if you're on your own fitness journey or if this helped you in any way. I would love to hear your comments down below. Tell me where you're at and when your journey. Tell me if you're in the bulking phase, if you struggled, what you struggled with, or what you did good or thought you did good with. Like, let me know. Let's talk. Let's talk. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you like this, turn on post notifications. I'm still new to YouTube, so I'm starting to get consistent with it. But yeah, thanks guys.